This is a review of Survivor Season 48, Episode 12, Icarus Time. We are at the penultimate episode of Survivor Season 48. We have an entire episode recap. With me, as always, Richie Becerra, joining us from the couch right after a Game 7 Oklahoma City Denver Nuggets. Going to celebrate you for getting a big Game 7 win, as well as you picked correctly who went home this week, and it took a lot to get there, but talk about both victories while I pour up maybe the last shot of the season, unless, one of our winners wins. Who knows? Going Jaeger again, even though I've had a long weekend of drinking. Tell us about your victories.
The Thunder one obviously means the most, just because I feel like we put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into this season. Winning a Game 7 with a really young team is pretty tough, so I'm glad that they got that done. It was an easy win, so didn't have to stress too much after the first quarter, so that was good. The Shauhin get out, I think that was another big hit. I think if he would have had odds on going home that episode, it would have been probably plus 400, plus 500, and I could have made some money off that one.
Yeah, I did not see it coming. But, the way the episode ended up going, it was just fascinating ride. We're going to get into it all. We're going to rename the episode. We're going to do a Survivor press conference where if we could ask Jeff or a Castaway a question immediately following the episode, what would it be? And then we're both going to talk. I mean, we could do stock up, stock down, but we're down to 5 after this episode. So we're going into the finale. I want to predict what this final episode, how it will go down. I might have seen a spoiler online. It was lame. It was right on my Twitter feed. And so I don't know if I'm going to participate, but I mean, a person was wearing the immunity necklace in like a confessional. And I was like, and it's like, if you win one, I mean, that's a big deal. You're either at 4 or maybe you're whatever passed, but I think that might have slipped out or something. We're going to get into it all, but to get into this episode, Icarus Time, we come off of Mary getting sent home, down to 6. It's obviously stacked where it seems like Mitch and Camilla are at the bottom, and there's the strong 4. Right before the reward challenge, Shauhin is hoping that there is a challenge involving his legs. Were you impressed with his legs? I didn't realize he had legs. I don't know if the TV takes
really
away a few pounds. He made it seem like his legs were pieces of art.
Yeah, I didn't really know what that was about. I mean, and when does a challenge really ever come to just your legs? I didn't really know what he was going with there.
Yeah. I mean, maybe the post ones too, or like maybe your feet. But even legs is less likely. Instead, we do get this challenge. They pull up on a boat. It's storming. It's raining, which is a pretty cool scene.
Mm-hmm.
They get on those ramps, which they did look more steep than before. Remember a few seasons ago, we had a Castaway step down because they were afraid of the water. This one, they're hanging by their wrists. And for me, I broke both my wrists. So this does, make me nervous, but Shauhin keeps bringing up that he has a ganglion cyst. Are you familiar with this, Dr. Richard?
I am, yeah, for sure.
What does this mean? And what is he feeling?
I mean, he probably has some pain, but it's really nothing crazy. It's just fluid-filled sac in your wrist joint, and I mean, he probably has some pain when he bends it or extends it, either way. But I mean, if his wrist is locked straight out, it probably doesn't hurt that much. I think he just wanted something to make him seem special, maybe.
Yeah, and I mean, it's funny because that could easily be a tell of this guy's gonna win it, and they're just showing us the adversity ahead of time that he's got some issues with his wrists or whatnot. Interesting challenge. Eva goes out because didn't realize that she couldn't use her foot. When they had to straighten out their legs, I was like, ooh, that does look painful.
For sure.
Because each handhold getting smaller is one thing, but then when it's clearly just all on your wrist, and what other muscles are we engaging with this? I mean,
delts, pecs.
Yeah, and Joe, this is one for Joe. You're probably too big for your own good, right? If you're a big person, this might not be for you. But Shauhin does get a victory. pretty exciting. Gets to go on reward with loved one letters and barbecue. Gets to take two people. Decides to take Joe. Strictly out of, maybe that's because they're number one, but he says it's because his connection to his kids. And he takes Kyle. What do you think of this? This is a really big moment of like who to take in a crucial spot. You give Joe barbecue before a big immunity challenge. Camilla
Yeah.
points that out. That seems a little shocking. What
I
did you make of those
I
choices?
thought that was crazy. I mean, I don't think I would have picked him. I think
Yeah.
he really is just trying to show that he is still working with Joe. I think
Yeah.
Eva's been on a lot of them, so that made sense why he didn't pick her. You kind of want one person back to babysit the other two that you're trying to get out
Right.
if he is not trying to make a move. So I get
Yeah.
that part.
And I mean, Joe has made it his personality that, like, he's out there for his kids and he's thinking about his kids and
Hmm.
he hopes he's made his kids proud. So there might have been a lot of moments where, yeah, if him and Shaheen, who have been together since day one, same tribe, like, to not let your number one from the jump go get a letter from their kids, I feel like that also could unlock a beast in Joe. So yeah, I could see it both ways. Yeah, it's at the sanctuary where they are reading their letters. Joe, we hear this story, crazy story about his sister, who he lost to domestic violence, and he reveals too, like, this was a very personal story from Joe, that he
Hmm.
spent his last phone call with his sister in a fight, and he just reveals it all on TV, and it was like, I don't know, it was pretty powerful stuff. He kind of gets a little bit more of that moment later. Shaheen's talking about his mom, and Kyle's talking about his dad. Really good stuff. It's hard though, because I said I'm watching Survivor Second Chance right now, and I just saw Family Visits, and
Hmm.
Family Visits like still just hit so much harder,
Yeah,
and it's like it really is something we like need back. Like 50 better have Family Visits, especially if it's
that'd
all
be awesome.
castaways.
Hmm.
Like, yeah, like I don't know. That's what I need. And yeah, but even through the sanctuary, we do see a little bit of gameplay happen where Shaheen kind of stumbles by saying they're talking about he's talking with Kyle about going to the end, and what do we do about Joe? Do I take out the fireman with fire? And then Shaheen ends up saying, well, we should take out Eva next. And that's kind of enough fuel for Kyle to go, okay, I got something I can
Hmm.
work with. Um, and yeah, it's pretty amazing here that like Kyle knows immediately to go into actor mode with Camilla, and we see that these two get back together and devise this kind of plan to send Shaheen out. Did you feel like, oh shoot, like my choice is going through, or did you think this was not going to actually happen? I thought it could be a tease the whole way of just
Yeah,
like, oh
it's
man, this is gonna be, yeah,
definitely one of those that's tough to think or to say which way it was going to go. I kind of thought that it was going to happen though, and I think just because they did such a good job of the lying, the planning behind it, and everything, and they've done it not like once but two, three times now. So I
yeah,
think they kind of have some experience in that department in the game.
yeah. Yeah, no, it was wild. We kind of see him start to devise this plan, especially as before they go to immunity challenge. And Joe, even after, gets another moment out on the beach where he kind of talks to his sister and has this moment of closure, which I don't know, just like I don't know who the fan favorite is now going into the finale. To me, I do think it's Joe. I don't know about online if people would love that
Hmm.
answer, but to me, dude, just like him being a beast at a challenge, him being protector over Eva, him like he's been at the center of every like of keeping the
For
alliance
sure.
together. Like even Survivor
Hmm.
31, I'm watching a guy named Joe who's killing it at challenges, and the second chance where he loses his necklace, they get rid of him because he's too big of a beast.
Hmm.
But this Joe was able to cultivate an alliance and keep it all the way to the end. And I'm like, dude, I love this guy. This guy is a
Hmm. For
fantastic
sure.
Survivor player. Um, Kind of feels old fashioned, but yeah, and he gets these big emotional moments too. And I just thought he went way up in my book. Who do you think is fan favorite though? Like as of
I mean, I think it would have to be between him and it's
maybe
tough to pick one
Kyle?
between Kyle or Camilla though. They're both
Yeah,
kind of playing very similar games, so it'd be tough to pick one between the two of them, I think.
yeah, yeah. We'll see. I think Yeah, those are probably good choices. We get to the immunity challenge. At the immunity challenge, pretty good one. Eva struggles to throw her bags to get her rope. Pretty
Mm,
hilarious. Continues messing up. Shaheen gets a huge lead by this barrel walk. The barrel walk looked intense, and Camilla
yeah.
took some hits on it. I feel like, man, that's got to be it's. I want to try it, and it looks like it was on sand, so it doesn't go too fast.
Mm,
Pretty cool challenge. And then at the end, it wasn't really a puzzle. It was just about staying strong and steady, which I thought was
mm,
interesting. And Shaheem with a huge lead, really not in it at the end. Joe just rifling through that final balancing, which it looked like. I mean, look a pool ball like on a flat surface. That's like
mm,
insane for him to get all the way to
yeah.
the end. Pretty solid challenge. Joe wins another immunity challenge. Did they say he tied a record or
I think he's
he's
tied right now. Yeah.
yeah. And yeah, just a big win for Joe because I mean, you think if he doesn't win, does he go home? Like, is this a spot where they
I
all
don't
flip
know.
on
I
him?
mean, I feel like he's done such a good job forming the relationships that
Yeah,
he
that's what I'm
may he
saying.
like. I don't even know if he would have been worried. He might not have been worried, but
Yeah, that's like the thing is like this season has been not many blindsides, but really it's
hmm
because there's such strong relationships. Like I
yeah.
really do think these connections are so tight that like no one does want to flip on each other because it's like I mean Kyle has talked so much about we've opened up to each other, we've shared a lot, and this group just hasn't been able to separate gameplay and relationships as
hmm
much. But the scrambling and the paranoia begins when Kyle begins to he pitches his side to Joe, talks about how Shaheen might have an idol and he might want to break up Eva here at the end. I was thinking Joe was maybe going to catch on to it.
hmm
But they really play it out perfectly. And it was just like the last time that Camilla and Kyle acted, just nailed every bit of the
hmm
way. And it was a
Yeah.
similar as before, too, where Joe's like, let's all talk to each person. Let's talk to each person. And it worked out so perfect. Even to the point where, he was questioning, like, what's going on, what's going on. But then him and Shaheen have this kind of explosive conversation where Shaheen's like, dude, you act like I pissed in your pancakes, which I've not heard that one. Um, Pretty funny. And did you think this was like the way that it was playing out here in the scrambling, that this was like going to be working?
I mean, I took it for that at least, and I think that
Yeah.
was also me probably being pretty hopeful during the episode that he would go home.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, I mean, like you said, they played it perfectly. And then the argument he has with Shaheen at that moment, I was like, oh yeah, like he's got to be going.
Yeah. He was hot, dude. He was hot over it. And yeah, we get to tribal. It's a lot of, still talking about trust, talking about gameplay moves and whatnot. But the real big kind of moment and thing they did at tribal was take the sound out for Joe while like Kyle's talking and while Shaheen's talking, which was a great
Yeah.
touch. And it really like I mean, this was the first tribal where there really was a pretty big blind side, a pretty big flip. And I do think I don't know, like do you think that this move of like does Joe get points for this move because he's on the correct
Oh
side
yeah.
of the votes? Even though obviously Kyle and Camilla orchestrated it.
I mean, right now, I would say like at least in the eyes of the jury, he gets points. But I think once they go
Yeah.
and say Kyle or Camille makes it to the end, they get to plead their case. Then it's like, oh wow, that's a big hit to
Yeah.
Joe.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it was pretty wild, and like Shaheen was even saying stuff. It's funny because like I wonder even when they're trying to be kind of vague and tribal, and they're going on these long rants about like, look, it's when you're out here, you just gotta make a move, and if you don't make a move, like what are you doing? And like then they all make faces at each other. Like Shaheen says something that's pretty vague, but it causes Eva to go, wait, like maybe
hmm
we can't trust you. And it's funny just
Yeah.
how that works out because Shaheen really is a great talker and whatnot, but there was something there that fed into the lie that Kyle and Camilla had placed, and it was just it was pretty excellent and
hmm
a good blindside. I was till the very end. I was like, man, this still could be a tease. It could still just be Mitch. And then Shaheen goes home. Do you have any final words for Shaheen?
I think it was fun. He did a good job. Played a good game. Don't necessarily know that I'd want to see him play again though.
Yeah.
I don't know, something about just his style of play I wasn't super fond of.
Yeah. If he could get out there and be a little more sneaky, I mean, apparently Rachel Lamont, she had a really good post that her and him were both alternates for 46, and they both like knew each other after that, and they stayed in touch. And then Rachel went on to 47, he went on to 48, and they were both like had each other's back, which I thought was a pretty cool thing. Shauhin to me feels like the front runner for the podcast host, mostly because he made it to Final Six. I think he was pretty beloved, and he's someone who I think would love to do something like that. And
Jeff liked him a lot too. You can tell.
Yes, Jeff liked him a lot, and he's a great talker. I think he captured a lot of fun Survivor stuff. And then on his way out to even being like, if one of you guys don't get up to hug me, I'm gonna be mad. Like, it was just like he always could bring lightness to every moment. Sometimes silly, sometimes perfect. So
why don't you think they picked Mitch for the new host?
Hey, that's a good question. It's a good question. I was wondering if they would like edit him more, because I feel like they tighten people's words up like when you're listening to them over the thing. I wondered if they'd do that more with him, but I think they were like, we can't. Yeah, you have to leave this. But Mitch, that'd be pretty funny. All right, let's get into Survivor press conference. If you had a question for anyone after episode 12, Richie, what would it be?
So I wrote this down, and then I kind of found the answer later in the week. Do the other players get their letters after they're eliminated or around that same time? But then Cedric did tweet out that he did get his letter. He never specified at what point.
Oh, interesting.
So they do get their letters, just.
Yeah. No, yeah.
Oh, so that'd be my question then, is like, when do they get their letter?
Oh, yeah. And how does it hit? Yeah, how does it hit?
For sure. Well, I mean, you're still away, and like you're still locked up, so not locked up, but.
My question was actually for the jury, because I mean, we heard it again. We heard it last episode, but we hear it again this one. But Shauhin was really confident that he beats Joe in the end, and he beats, all these people. And I do think Shauhin probably could have been a great talker at Final Tribal and made a difference enough to get a vote or sway people. But I'm curious what the jury thought of Shauhin's game to that point. Like, was he the power player, or is he the guy you want to take to the end? Because he won one reward challenge. He,
moves?
Did he make a move on David? Maybe. I mean, like, I don't know. There wasn't a lot where I'm like, wow, dude, Shauhin was in the middle of that. Shauhin, like you said, there wasn't a ton where I'm like, man, I need that back.
And kind of reminded me of Liz, how she kind of thought she had the game.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's very.
Meanwhile, at home, we feel like they have no shot to win. But.
Right. And so, but I wonder if the jury's just like, oh, no, Shauhin is a clear dog. When I really feel like everyone is aware that, like, Joe is the power player. Eva's kind of cooled off, to be honest. We did hear, too, at the beginning of the episode, she clears up. Eva could have used her safety without power at the Mary vote. But she said that my alliance needed my vote. I heard that the second time around. So, I mean, I believe I thought this was her last time to use her idol too. I'm not sure.
I think this week it probably is. Which I feel like I think that's a little like overpowered that you can use it at 5.
That's why I'm like, that's wild to me. But also like, dude, I mean, it's immunity idol. It's supposed to be a powerful object, and she hasn't had to use it. And I'm surprised that she didn't use it just for fun up to this point. But yeah, kind of been on the right side of the votes. I guess let's go stock up, stock down. Did you have anyone with stock up?
Stock up, I went with Camilla. I think she is playing a really good game right now. She's in a good spot. I could see them thinking they can bring her along to the end and beating her, and then she could say everything she's done behind the scenes to make a real good case to win the game. Yeah,
Camilla's a good one, and I like that I have Camilla to go to the end, because I think maybe the jury might settle or like side with the underdogs here. Like, they all were up against the big alliance the whole time. And they might go, well, look, Camilla made it to the end, and she like was at the bottom the whole time, and like won a challenge, and devised a bunch of plans. Like, Camilla is in a good spot. I actually went with Kyle instead of Camilla, mainly because Kyle got to go on the reward, get some food, and get some I don't know, good. Like, I don't know where Shauhin puts his vote now as a jury member, and we still got some game to play, but it could end up being Kyle if Kyle's sitting up there without Joe. If it's Kyle, Camilla, Mitch, I mean, it could, yeah, I don't know.
It could be
Like
tough for sure.
to me, like at this point, Joe is at the final three. I think Joe wins. I think everyone else, it's up in the air. I just don't know if Joe can make
Hmm.
it there. It's a lot of time to go. Stock down. I went with Eva.
Ooh.
I did. Yeah. I just don't. I don't think in this final moments or whatnot. Like I see Eva now as two under Joe's wing. Um,
Hmm.
of course, Eva got some great advantages and made some great plays on journeys and whatnot. She can articulate that. That could be big, but just didn't have a good episode, I don't think.
Yeah.
She had a funny moment when she was on the beach and she was like, "It's like all the boys are out and I'm stuck at home." Like I thought that was funny. I do love Eva, um,
I
but
think
yeah,
her
stuck down.
story helps her a lot though
Yeah.
too.
Oh yeah,
If she makes it
100%,
to the end.
100%. Who do you got stock down?
Mitch. I mean,
Yeah,
I
can't
see
get lower.
no
Yeah.
path for him to win the game. So
Hmm.
stock down for Mitch. Sorry, Mitch.
Oh my gosh. I mean, if you could rewatch this, if I was telling someone who was rewatching the season, I'd say take a drink every time Mitch says, "It's time to make a move. Is now the time to make a move?" Because, yeah, he just doesn't. And it's,
I thought it was funny too. Earlier in the episode, he says he was playing with knuckleheads.
yeah, oh my gosh. Are you, yeah. Well, I mean, that was like kind of a good point of like, why take Joe? But it's also like, yeah, dude, pot calling the kettle black. All right, pretty funny. Let's rename the episode. Icarus Time's a pretty good one. Shauhin got a little too close to the sun, burned up for his own good. But do you have a better name for Survivor
I
48
went
episode
with
12?
something that we like to say from time to time, and it's all gas, no brakes.
All gas, no brakes. I like
Hmm.
that. All gas, no brakes. I'm going with run them over with a bus. Camilla said that she's like, look, we're just gonna run them over the bus and pull back over, and like she's got some good confessionals. Like I think
Yeah.
Camilla's a fun one. I think she's probably more like it seems like she's more quiet amongst everyone, but her
Hmm.
confessionals are hilarious. And
She's got some villainry
yeah, yeah,
elements to
yeah.
that
And there
too.
hasn't been a lot of that this season that's gotten
Yeah.
super far,
Hmm.
other than maybe Say. But yeah, we go into the finale episode now. Richie, how do you see this final five shaking out? We got two immunity challenges
Yeah.
left, one fire making. I believe, unless they throw some crazy curveball, we're assuming that's how this ending goes.
Hmm.
How do you see the path to victory? What's your prediction? We might not be fully right, both of us, but
Yeah.
just this one long episode left.
I think it's going to be tough for them to get either Eva or Joe out next episode because Eva will play her idol for either herself or Joe.
Hmm.
So if Joe wins, she'll play for herself, and I could see her even playing it for Joe
Right.
if because she thinks maybe they're going to target him.
Yeah.
So I think that could pour something into this five, but I see them keeping Mitch around because everyone probably thinks they can beat him,
Okay.
unless they really are trying to go with those Kyle, Eva, and Joe strong.
Yeah.
But I could see Camilla going home next. I think that's who I probably think is going next.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I am gonna say it's Mitch. Mitch goes home at 5. And I think it's because, dude, it's funny they said this. I think it was this
Hmm.
episode that like, dude, like, and maybe it's just the 4 like talking, but they're like, dude, no one wants to be at the end with Mitch. Like, no, you don't want to be at the end with Mitch. And I'm like, are they
Yeah.
serious? Like, wait, what, is something
I did
happening
hear
out
that.
there?
Yeah.
Like, is that a story thing? Is that a like they like
Could be.
Mitch? Like, if this was old Survivor, and it's like, oh, we just don't like,
Hmm.
Russell Hantz. Yeah, that makes sense. Like we all love Mitch. I don't know
Hmm.
that the jury's going to vote like that. As bitter as they look, I think the 4 maybe stays together. I am worried about Joe. If Joe doesn't win at 5, like Kyle's already pretty committed to like, look,
For sure.
I'm because there's going to be a fallout from this, right? That like, wait, was Kyle actually lying about Shauhin, and will Joe now know about it? And will that cause Joe to get freaky, and then everyone can turn on each other? I don't know.
Hmm.
But I just kind of think maybe we'll get a straightforward Mitch goes home at 5. And then, all right, who do you think goes home at 4?
Oof. See, then it gets tough. I mean, because four is fire making, right?
4, yeah, 4, you get 1 immunity winner, and then 2 people go to fire.
See, like this is where I could see if like Joe wins, he obviously is going to put like if Kyle and Camilla should like he's going to put them two up.
Yeah.
But I think if like Kyle won, I think he would put up Joe and Eva, and they
Ooh,
duke it out. And
wow.
Yeah, I see Eva losing on fire making at 4.
Gosh, that would be electric. By the way, that's the TV. That's the episode they
Oh,
want.
100%. Yeah.
100%. Yeah, I think I could see. Yeah, I see more it going. Kyle, Joe wins at 4. If Joe doesn't win at 5,
Hmm.
Joe wins at 4, and he sends Kyle and Camilla to fire. Which, if Kyle wins fire, that maybe helps him, but Joe is just in
Hmm.
too good of a spot to win the game. If they're smart, they take out Joe before then.
See, I still think that even if Kyle makes it to the end with Joe, I think Kyle has a really, or Camilla, have a really good chance just because they actually made a lot of moves.
Yeah, they
Where
made moves.
not to say it's not a good gameplay, but he just stuck with his alliance from day one and they plowed through the game. But just
Yeah,
depending on how the jury votes, I could see them wanting to give more credit to the people who made moves behind the scenes.
yeah. Well, we'll see. Finale is this week. I've seen a
Hmm.
lot of great commercials for it. I'm hyped, ready to go. Season 48's been a really, really solid season. It's about to be a long summer ahead of us, but summer's here, so that's good news. All right, that's it. We head into the Western Conference Finals too. You got a prediction for
So baby.
that? Send us out with your WCF prediction.
Thunder and 5.
Ooh. So what did you say? Did you against the Nuggets? Did you think it was going to be? You thought probably
I thought it was
six,
going to be
five
like
or six.
I thought 5 or 6, but I mean, if you go back and look, they don't miss 2 free throws at the end of game 1, they win that. They don't miss those free throws in game 3, they win that. It could have been over earlier,
No.
but free throws, got to make your free throws,
Yeah, dude. They grew up a lot this series. We'll see.
which I think is going to be huge for them.
I hope it's fun. I bet there'll be some. There wasn't I feel like there wasn't too much emotion in this didn't feel like rivals. This Nuggets OKC, right? There was no pushing or shoving.
Not a whole lot, no,
I feel like you'll get that with the Timberwolves. Like just
for sure.
a bit more dogs on both sides.
Hmm.
Like some young teams. Well, there's some youth on that T Wolves team. We'll see. We'll cover it all here on the DBN. Thanks so much for tuning in. Like, subscribe, comment. We love you. See you next time.
Later.